What I want to ask you guys first is about the green flags. And why do people tend to sabotage when they actually have green flags in front of them with a person they're dating, experiencing, getting to know? Why do some people tend to sabotage that when they actually have someone who's not toxic in front of them? And I'll start with ladies first. That when you see that, or when someone sees that, I don't know if you have girlfriends that are like, yeah, he was like just a great guy, but I sabotaged it.
Mm-hmm.
Why does that happen for men or women? Is it because they're emotionally unavailable? Is it because they've never seen someone in a healthy relationship with themselves before? Why would you say?
I would say that their barrier to intimacy has become their self-esteem. Unfortunately for them, and it happens to a lot of people, they have developed a core belief about themselves, either through their childhood or through adult relationships, where they believe that love should be a struggle, it should be difficult, and it shouldn't be smooth sailing. And when it is smooth and somebody does show them love and compassion, because they don't have love and compassion for themselves, they start to question the judgment of the person who is showing them love. And they start to think there's something wrong in that person. And the smoothness that they acquire in the relationship is something that they're just not used to. And they have attributed love to being chaotic, difficult, turbulent. When it's not like that, they just think that they haven't got an attachment. They think in order for me to be loved, I should be obsessing over them. I should be wondering what they're doing. I should be checking their social media. I should be anxious. When the anxiety is stripped of love, they think it's deprived of its fundamental ingredient, when really it's being infused with peace, which they're just not used to.
Wow, that's interesting. I love that we started with this right now. I don't know if that's something that you would relate to, or if you agree with, or you think there's something else to add there.
No, I think it comes from different places. Familiarity is, it drives us so often in life. And familiarity doesn't really care whether something is good or bad, just that it's known. And I never used to, I remember in my 20s, I never used to understand what people meant when they said like fear of success, because I was like, why would anyone be afraid of success? And then I realized I probably was afraid of success. Like anytime things got too hot, anytime like I felt like everything was a runaway train, I would find myself getting nervous. And why was I getting nervous? Well, because it was just unknown. It was like I'd never gone that far before. I'd never been there. And unknown territory is just unknown territory. When things feel unfamiliar, we get afraid of them. They feel disconcerting. They can feel boring, strange. And so it's our body has a way of searching for what is familiar. I also think it shouldn't be discounted that there are certain feelings that just feel good.
What are those feelings?
Well, it's like eating pizza. Like eating pizza does feel good.
Yeah.
It's not good
Even
for
though it's
you.
bad for you. Yeah.
Right. There is something there's something that foods that are bad for you, or substances that are bad for you, give you, that is a feeling that is quite addictive and you want to chase it. And of course, a lot of us pay the price over time for chasing those things. And I think sometimes we have to acknowledge that there are certain kinds of people that feel good in the very beginning.
But I'm curious, Matthew, with you, when a woman has gone through your workshop or maybe watched your content or, been a part of your community for a while, and then they say, okay, I'm ready to go out there and meet a guy. And there seems like a really healthy, good, kind, compassionate, value-driven, spiritual, healthy, conscious man in front of me. And for whatever reason, she's unable to be excited about that. What is that saying about that woman in your mind if she is unable to lean into the green flags of a healthy potential mate in front of her? Does she still need work to do? Is she just not emotionally available herself? What does she need to start the process of doing? So when she sees someone who's healthy, she can actually be attracted to them and work towards building a relationship.
I think it's usually a sign that for anyone, men or women alike, that we're not truly putting our well-being first. We think the source of our worth is outside of us. And we see someone who looks like the kind of equivalent of a VIP nightclub or a VIP wait list. And there is an instinct. There is an instinct we all have. You walk past 10 restaurants and one of them's super busy and they say, we can see you in 3 hours.
We're not available.
There's an instinct that says that, this, like, maybe this is the one I want to eat at. You might have passed 10 places already, but the one with the 3-hour wait list, there's something about that makes us go, maybe we can hang around for 3 hours. Maybe it is that good. And the problem is that in love and dating, the people who make it feel like there's a 3-hour wait list or a 6-month wait list, or that they have all the options in the world, they give the impression of being the best meal in town.
Interesting.
But it doesn't necessarily add up. There's a lot of ways to create that illusion. I can not text you back for 3 days. And if you're the person who buys into the illusion that if I'm inconsistent with my communication, that must make me more valuable, then I can raise my value, not by being any more valuable in real terms, but simply by ignoring you for 3 days. It requires 0 calories for me to make myself more valuable in the eyes of someone who's chasing that kind of value. And so...
or someone who might be wounded and needs that validation.
Or is coming from that place of their model for love is that it is inconsistent, is that it has to be fought for tooth and nail, is that scraps is all you can really expect. And also, again, to talk about those feelings that we get in certain situations, if there's someone whose value we've started to raise in our minds because they've made themselves unavailable, which is a very common instinct. It's a very bad instinct, but it's a very common one, that someone's less available, so I start to attribute more value to them. Or if we attribute more value to them when they become unavailable, that we now get anxious because we really want to secure them because they're valuable. And we sit there wondering, how do I secure them? How do I secure them? How do I secure them? Ruminating, obsessing. Even ruminating is a form of investment.
Yeah.
Right? Because the moment, if you're thinking about how to solve a problem nonstop, the problem feels like it's really important. You're investing in a person, even though you're not with them. You're investing in them in your mind. So at the moment, like 5 days later, after all of that work you've been doing, and all of that obsession, and all of that fear, and all of that anxiety, when you get a message from them, it can be next to nothing. It can be, what's up?
And you've got all this adrenaline.
And you've been trying to figure out how to solve this riddle of getting them back into your life, and you get a 2-word message.
Yeah.
It feels like the most important thing in the world. And of course, when you get that rush of blood to the head, how can it not feel kind of euphoric? How can it not give you an extraordinary feeling? And when you get that extraordinary feeling and those chemicals are released, you go, oh my God, I feel so strongly for this person. But you don't feel strongly for this person. You feel strongly for the dynamic. There's a big difference between those two things.
Yeah.
So, it's about, what am I chasing here? Am I chasing a feeling? Am I chasing an idea of value? And what is that value based on? Is it based on someone I think is just rare and difficult to get? Or is value based on how great of a person someone is in my life? How much they actually invest in me? What kind of teammate they are? What kind of energy they are? That if we start valuing that more, which deep down derives from us valuing ourselves more, because if you don't value yourself and you just value a feeling, well, you may as well do a bunch of drugs all day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not, drugs might hurt me, but I'm valuing the feeling, not myself. If I value myself, then I think, what do I need to give myself in order to feel better? That's a much more conscious and intentional path to take. It's harder, but it's somewhere that leads somewhere much happier. I've had situations, you can take it outside the realm of love life. I've had situations in business or work where, let's say someone asks me to do their TV show or their podcast, and let's say it's just something I've always wanted to do. Like, I've always wanted to go on this show. There is an instinct when you get that email that says, call them right now.
Right.
Call them immediately. Tell them we're ready. Tell them we could do it this afternoon.
Yeah.
Like, we could do it now. Because if they want, I'll get ready. Like, I was, I'm halfway across the world, but I'll fly there tomorrow. There's that instinct. And, if that opportunity goes away because you didn't do it tomorrow, there's a feeling in us that beats ourselves up and says, see, I blew it. But it was never yours.
Yes.
It was a fly by night, like drive by, superficial opportunity. If it can't wait a day for you to email back and a couple of weeks for you to book it in,
Yeah.
then you have to decide what your relationship is with opportunities in general.
Yeah.
Like, do I want to have that relationship with an opportunity where the moment an opportunity comes through the door, I am that opportunity's hostage? Is that the relationship I want to have with opportunity in my life, whether it's opportunity in business, whether it's opportunity in love? And we have to make that decision. And I got to a point in my life, and it's not I never get like activated in that way, because something big can come through and I'll feel myself going to that place. But these days I'm like, what relationship do I want to have with opportunities in my life? Well, I'm never going to be the hostage to an opportunity.
That's cool.
So if it comes through and it happens organically through just normal communication at a normal cadence in a consistent way, and it happens, then wonderful. If it doesn't, then frankly, I don't want to know.
Yeah. Interesting.
Amazing.